Are you somebody that has a big truth that's just feels like a heavy weight inside of you because you just haven't fully let it out in the world? Or maybe you feel like you've got a big purpose, but you're just not fully living it. I know this pain, and I spent a lot of my life in this place. It was October 2018, and I was at a coaching conference in Venice Beach, California. There was an opportunity to get up and speak in front of a crowd of 150 of some of the best coaches in the world. The man leading the conference asked who has a truth that they want to share here today. All of a sudden, I had butterflies in my stomach. I felt like I was going to throw up, but at the same time, I saw that there was an opportunity to speak my truth in front of a room full of people that either would completely reject me or they might just be inspired and resonate with my message. When the man said, who would like to get up and speak their truth? Who would like to get up and share a truth with the room here today? I put my hand up right away and I said, I would like to speak. And I got the microphone and I sat in front of that room, or I stood rather, in front of that room full of 150 of some of the best coaches in the world. And I said, I have a truth that I think the world needs to know. And I said, that truth is this. I don't believe that we are human beings. I don't believe that I'm Ricky Goodall. I believe that I am God, creator, or conscious universe manifested as a human being, pretending to be Ricky Goodall. And while I was speaking this truth, I was sweating, I was nervous, I felt sick to my stomach. And again, this is October of 2018. Until that moment, I'd never spoken this truth in front of a group of people before, especially a bunch of people I didn't know. I was so afraid to put my truth out there in the world that I was creating patterns of addiction and overeating and overconsumption and just living less of a version of myself than I know myself to be. Because I learned that when we have a powerful truth inside of us, when we have a purpose inside of us that we're not living, it becomes very heavy. It ends up holding us down and keeping us rooted to the earth rather than soaring and flying like we're all meant to do. You see, we've all got this hardwired pattern of being afraid of rejection. We were born with it. We're all born with the fear of being rejected by our tribe. Because for hundreds of thousands of years, humans have lived in small tribes. Being rejected by our tribe could mean death. It could mean starvation. It could mean being eaten by animals. It could mean being attacked by other tribes. It could mean being exposed to the elements. Rejection was almost certain death for most of our history as human beings. So we've developed significant fears of being rejected, which is hardwired in our minds. We've evolved to be afraid of rejection. Then when you add on top of that a society of perfectionists, of high achievers, of people who measure their worth and their weight based on their external environment, based on the things that they've collected, the clothes that they wear, the way that they look and show up in the world. We've all been hardwired to fear rejection, and we've been programmed to fear rejection. If you've ever come home with a math test or you did something a little different than others and you were bullied and made fun of for it, then you have created a fear of rejection. You have created a fear of being ridiculed and criticized by your peers. This fear of rejection, this fear of not fitting in is the very thing that holds us back from speaking and living our truth. But the only way that we will ever fully be accepted is if we live and speak our truth. That's the trick. That's the thing that most of us don't realize, is that we can never fully love and accept ourselves if we don't live and speak our truth. Because all of the love and the validation and the acceptance and the belonging that we get as a result of being somebody we're not is never actually fully received. We don't fully emotionally receive that love and affection from others. So even though it appears like we're Our heart never feels loved and accepted. Not fully. And so there's always a void inside of us. There's always something missing. How many by show of likes have given into some kind of addiction, whether it's junk food, sex? These addictions are all the product of not feeling fully loved and accepted. It's all the product of not feeling fully seen and heard for who we are. It's the result of not fully showing up in the world. So if you're somebody who's got a big truth in you, if you're somebody who's got a big purpose and you can feel it, but for some reason you just can't get it off the ground, then let me tell you, you're not alone. We've all been there in some form or another. We've all been afraid in some manner or another. As you can see behind me, there's a sign over there that I created the other day because one of my biggest dreams, but also one of my biggest fears, is to go in a public place where nobody knows that I'm going to be there and to speak my truth with a megaphone and that sign behind me, sharing that I believe that we are all superhuman. I believe that we all have the power to heal ourselves, not just from a virus or from a sickness or from a cold, but from any illness that stands in our way. Mental illness, physical illness, emotional illness, spiritual illness, we can heal ourselves. And that's just the beginning. We are capable of so much more than just healing ourselves. We are capable of true miracles. Miracles of transmutation, miracles of transformation, miracles of telepathy, telekinesis, levitation if you choose, miracles of creating change in our environment. Not just miracles of healing, not just miracles of self-love and self-confidence. Those are just the beginning. In martial arts, an individual works for years to become a black belt. They get their yellow belt and their orange belt and their green belt and their blue belt and their brown belt, and then eventually they get their black belt. And to the common person, the black belt is the end goal. But to the martial artist, the black belt is just the beginning. And likewise, our ability to heal ourselves, to love ourselves, to accept ourselves is just the beginning of the spiritual path. It's just the beginning of the path of self-actualization. The true manifestation of our ultimate potential is loving ourselves and then sharing that love with the world to inspire everyone else to reach that level of self-love, self-acceptance, and self-forgiveness. The final stage in the spiritual path is not just personal enlightenment. It's multiplication and replication. It's inspiring the masses to learn what we've learned. And you, my friend, have a truth inside of you so powerful that it could change the world. You have a purpose inside of you so magnificent that it could transform the planet as we know it. You have something extraordinary inside of you. You have something miraculous inside of you waiting to get out. It's not a truth about us versus them or them versus them over there or any of that. It's a truth much, much bigger than the fear mentality, than the separation and the duality that we create in our human ego. It's a truth so much bigger, so much more extraordinary that even speaking it will bring you to tears and evoke emotions inside of you like I'm feeling right now. You have something powerful inside of you. And your fear of rejection, your fear of fitting in, or my fear of rejection and my fear of fitting in is the only thing that holds me back from living and speaking this truth. But I will stand by no longer. I will play small not for another moment, because I know that my truth is not only my gift to myself, but my gift to others. Because when I stand up, when I speak a bold truth, knowing that I may be rejected, ridiculed, and judged by those around me, then I begin to inspire others to do the same. And I create space for miracles to occur. You have something incredible inside of you, something great to give to the world. And the only way that you will ever truly love and accept and forgive yourself is if you let that truth out into the world, if you let the lion out of its cage. That is your purpose, ultimately, to live your greatest, most miraculous, legendary life. To live what I call your superhuman, your superhuman life, because that's what's inside of you. I am not Ricky Goodall, and you are not the name on your Facebook account. You are not the name on your ID. You are not the name on your birth certificate. These are just analogies for what you are. You are something that cannot be named. You are something that cannot be spelled. You are something that cannot be contained in an idea. You are bigger than anything that could ever be described with words. You are superhuman. You are above human. You are more than you'll ever realize. If you're afraid to speak your truth, it's because you're afraid to not be accepted. And when you fully accept yourself and fully love yourself by acting as if you already love and accept yourself now in this moment, then you'll begin to recognize your own greatness. Then you'll begin to hear the truth that is not yours, but the truth that is being spoken through you. Because there is an intelligence that lives in your heart that is ready to share a grand truth with the world. If you're somebody who feels like you have a big truth or a big purpose, I have an opportunity for you. I was challenged to coach 30 brave leaders in the next 90 days and ask nothing in return. There are no sales pitches, there are no strings attached, and there's no cost. The only stipulation is that you have to recognize that being in a conversation with me is like being in a cage with a lion. We're going to go to battle against your fears and limitations, and we are going to take no prisoners. If you would like to apply to have one of these conversations with me, I'm going to put a link in the description below. They're 90 minutes to 2 hours long by Zoom video, and I'll tell you, it'll be an experience you'll never forget. If you'd like to apply, or if you know somebody who would be a good fit, check out the link that I just posted in the description. Again, no strings attached, no sales pitches, no cost. I'm just going to serve you as my way of elevating the transformation happening on this planet at this time. Thank you for watching. If you've been inspired by this video, please share it. Let me know in the comments section. Share this video with somebody who you think has a big purpose and a big truth to share with the world. Because as we shine our light, the light of the world becomes brighter, and from there, anything is possible. Thanks for watching, everyone.